Bum, bum, bum. Man, let's get this started. What's popping? What's going on? Happy Saturday to everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is for you. How are you doing today? We are just going to talk a bit about Aston Martin and the situation that they have put themselves into. Mary Beanie is first in the live chat. Racer X210 is second, and we are waiting for a third. And there we have K5. White Iverson will be our third in the live chat. That is our podium for the day. I thought about just making a Wolfpack member showing up in the live chat, but you know what? K5 White Iverson, I know you. I've seen you pop up a little bit. You on the podium, man. Third, it's better than being off the step, which Max Verstappen knows a lot about. DJ Big Blue would be the official third place on that live chat podium. But let's get into this. Let's talk about Aston Martin. Aston Martin have put themselves in this position by choice and damn near intentionally to a fault. Should be damn near criminal. And we've said it many times about this man, Lawrence Stroll. Lance has evidently injured himself by throwing a temper tantrum. We know that Lance has done this before. He's pushed an engineer in the garage throwing a temper tantrum. He's thrown his steering wheel throwing a temper tantrum. What's up, Bejan, in the live chat? DG Big Blue, Big Navy, hoorah. Lance Stroll has had more than a few occasions. Galactus in the live chat. What's popping, bro? Lance Stroll has more than a few occasions where he's thrown a temper tantrum, and sometimes I'm just wondering, why are you throwing this temper tantrum? What were you expecting other than what you probably should have already expected? But if he's competitive, regardless of his performance and where it is in perspective to these other competitors, still doesn't change if he's a competitive athlete in his own right. And I'll say that, in his own right. That's what I'll say. But we've all seen Lance Stroll, and I want to know, do you think Lance should be replaced for good? That's what I want to know in the live chat. Do you think Lance should be replaced for good? Now, let's talk about Aston Martin right now. They got Aston Martin problems, okay? They have about 4 options, and several of these options they have all come with a hang-up, okay? They all come with a hang-up. Let's talk about the nearest and closest option that I think many of us would like to see, and that is Felipe Drugovich in this car. Felipe Drugovich is an F2 champion. I think many of us, I don't want to say all because I don't want to put everybody in that. Racer X210 in the live chat says, Lance Stroll is like the kid in high school driving daddy's expensive sports car when he hasn't done a damn thing to show he deserves. Facts. Which, unfortunately, we have seen a lot of wealthy or rich parents buy teenagers who have just gotten their driver's license, Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and unfortunately, and condolences to those families for a very ill-advised decision to do so. Those kids have wrecked those cars and or killed themselves, or somebody else, or been badly bodily injured. So it's not a laughing matter, but it is a real matter. And I understand always wanting to give your kid the best and give them something, but sometimes you just got to sit back and think, what the hell were you thinking about doing at 16, 17, and 18 years old? Living life without thinking about any consequences, thinking about anybody else and how it impacts people, and just trying to have the most fun you can. And sometimes they do it with an idiot mind frame, and that is what happens. And Lance Stroll seems to, like, he's not far removed from that. I'm going to put together probably a montage. I think I've already posted it in the shorts of Lance Stroll and his abundant amount of collisions and contacts with other drivers and unsafe entries back onto the track. But as we get back to Felipe Drugovich, he is an option that I think many of us would like to see. But Felipe, being that option, has pretty much said he is going to be with Cadillac for the Le Mans. And this is where the other situation with Aston is a horrible situation, because the Canadian GP is in 6 days. All right. It is from the 13th to the 15th. Le Mans is damn near starting in shorter time than that, because it is from the 11th of events to the 15th. Felipe Drugovich, I have heard reportedly, has told Aston Martin that he will not be available for him. He will not be available to fill in this seat if Lance Stroll or another driver is not there. He will be, right now, it seems Lance Stroll is hard up and headstrong about participating in Le Mans. With Cadillac, I might add, with Whelan, and I don't blame him. If I'm Felipe Drugovich and you have left me hanging in the wings for all of this time, damn near 3 seasons more, for Lance Stroll, yeah, I don't blame him for not being there. I don't blame him for turning that down. I don't blame him for furthering the relationship he has with Cadillac and these two teams. Because Cadillac GM Motors is coming in to the sport next season. And if I want to be sure to be some type of option, viable option for that team, I'm not hanging them out for Aston Martin right now. I'm already obligated. So there goes a situation there. We've watched them time and time again go into a GP weekend and not activate Felipe Drugovich for at least a free practice so that he is an eligible driver on race day. And that is why Aston Martin only had one car available, because they did not properly plan for something and somebody that they have been needing to properly plan for. And more than properly plan his exit. Lance Stroll should be pretty much where Valtteri Bottas is, which we're going to talk about that option, because Valtteri is an option, but also comes with hangups. So the next option that they would have if they're trying to do something is Stoffel Van Dorn. And I likely think that he will probably follow the same suit, depending on what other contractual obligations they have, to go ahead and continue to participate in the Le Mans with Peugeot. He's right there. All right. It's third driver. In no order right there. I'm just saying, third driver. I think likely he's going to do the same thing. He's probably going to decline, maybe. So the other option that they have that right now is walking amongst the grid week in and week out with Mercedes, which Aston are Mercedes power unit customer, as well as McLaren, as well as Williams, as well, of course, as Mercedes, the works team, is Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri would be the next, and excuse some of the noise. I got the deck being redone, siding on the house being redone. You know, it's about that time, and unfortunately, storms have come through, so paying that out of pocket, you know what I'm saying, and got the flooring being done is crazy. So if you hear a bunch of weird noises, that's what it is. There's construction going on. And we've been through this before, right? Because we had construction down here. But anyway, Valtteri will come with a moderate penalty due to a situation that he had with K-Mag 8024, a collision. He will have what has been reported as a 5 grid drop penalty for that situation. He has not paid in dues yet. So all of these options have hangups. The last and final option, which I believe is the option they want to do anyway, is to, well, I don't want to say they, Lawrence Stroll would like to do anyway, is bring his son back in by his home GP so he will be racing. And this is sad. This is sad. He's not going to be ready. We saw before when he came back from the biking accident with his hand, it was, to me, pretty much an unsafe situation. He couldn't properly hold the steering wheel for prolonged times. He had to keep taking his hands off the steering wheel. And this, I think, is going to be the same situation. And I'm going to tell you, even if all 3 of these options, in my opinion, were available to Aston Martin without any hangups, without any repercussions, without any grid drop penalties, Van Dorn, Bottas, and Drugovich, I still think that they would choose an option like Valtteri without any hangups, right? Because this is why I think they would do that. You could choose Valtteri and take him back out of the seat and put Lance Stroll in with little to no flack or any repercussions or backlash from your fans, your spectators, or your supporters. But if you put Felipe Drugovich in that seat after 3 seasons of being on the bench, 3 or 4 seasons of being on the bench, and Felipe goes out there and shows out, well, now you got a problem. Now you got a situation on your hands. Now you have to legitimately respond to the plethora of questions that will be asked. One of those questions is going to be, what the hell took you so long? Why did you have a driver of this caliber, this potential, this ability to contribute to your team and not have him in that seat? Why did you have a driver who's an F2 champion sitting behind Lance Stroll, who has been in this season, been in the league for several seasons, and has not produced to that level? What were you waiting on? I've told you, DG Big Blue Navy, hoorah, says go with VB and take the 5-place grid. I agree. That was what I was going to say after this. I agree. I would still go with Valtteri, take my 5 grid drop, and run it from there. Valtteri is proven. Valtteri is a better driver than any of the drivers on the other side of the Red Bull garage. He's proven that in a good car, solid platform. He's also proven in a bad car, he can still stay rooted, give you good advice, but they already kind of got that with Alonso. So Valtteri has to come in and perform. But I still say take the 5 grid drop, because I think Drugovich and Van Dorn are not going to vacate their Le Mans activations for Aston Martin. I don't think they're going to do it. I think, they're already committed. There's so much stuff that's already gone into that. There's got to be a stupid big some type of quandary of a situation for all of a sudden for us to hear that they're going to take themselves out of that. So in my opinion, the thing to do to fix the situation is to get rid of Lance Stroll. All right. So leave your comments below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you believe that they should do going forward. They have 6 days to decide whatever it is that they are going to do. They have 6 days to make this happen. Okay. Whether it's Valtteri or it's Lance Stroll, and I think it should be Valtteri. Lance Stroll has proven that he is about a gram of weight worth of production for your Formula One team. Valtteri, we know what he has done. We have seen him go through troubled seasons with Sauber, and it wasn't the greatest, but Sauber just hasn't helped any of their drivers. So Valtteri is proven way more than Lance Stroll, even at his age. I'm taking Valtteri. If I could get Drugovich in there without the Le Mans situation, I'm going with Drugovich, and Lance is going to reserve driver roles. But I don't think Lawrence Stroll wants to do this, and this is the hang-up with this father-son relationship to a fault. Because some fathers and sons, hey, your father's going to tell you, you're just not cutting it. You're going to have to ride the bench. I've seen it. Lawrence Stroll is not that. Lance Stroll is also not that. So let me know below in the comment section what you all think. What do you expect to see in 6 days? Do you expect to see Lance Stroll in the seat? Do you expect that Valtteri will be signed and take the 5 grid drop penalty and he'll be in that second seat? Or for some magical, unforeseen reason, do one of these drivers, Felipe and Stoffel, just vacate their Le Mans duties, which I don't see that happening. Let me know below in the comment sections. Peace and love. We will have a Wolves Den tomorrow to talk about plenty of things. If you all want to talk about it, all things Formula One, no specific topics at all. This probably will be one to lead the topic subject, but bring anything Formula One that you all want to talk about for tomorrow's hour of Wolves Den, and we will talk about it, okay? Peace and love. Leave it below in the comment section. I'll see you all later. We're out.